Most men fail with women not because they're weak, but because they're reactive. She says something. He panics. She pulls away. He chases. But Stoicism teaches something powerful. A high-value man never chases. He attracts. He doesn't react. He leads. And today, I'll show you how Stoic men handle women. Calmly, powerfully, and on their own terms. We live in a world where men are constantly told to impress women. Buy her gifts. Text her back immediately. Apologize even when you're right. But the truth, women don't respect a man who's desperate. They respect a man who's grounded. A man who knows his value. A man who doesn't fall for games, drama, or emotional manipulation. And that's exactly what the Stoics taught 2,000 years ago. So let's dive into 7 Stoic rules every man must follow to handle women like a high-value king. Number 1. Master your emotions. Never let her see you lose control. In the battleground of life and love, emotional control is not just power, it's your shield. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who faced war, betrayal, and death, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That's not just poetic wisdom. That's battlefield-tested truth. When you're in a relationship, there will be moments that test you, deliberate or unconscious tests where she pushes your buttons, brings up your past, ignores you to see if you'll chase, or says something just to see if you'll snap. The moment you explode. The moment you act out of jealousy, insecurity, or neediness is the moment you hand over your masculine core. You go from being the rock to being a wave crashing all over the place, and women can't trust a wave. Picture this. You're out. With her and another guy walks over, makes a joke, and she laughs a little too long. You feel the heat rising in your chest. That fire in your gut, that's your ego screaming. But a Stoic man breathes. He doesn't react. He responds. Instead of demanding answers or acting out, he watches. He observes. He knows that if she's truly his, no game will change that. And if she's not, no reaction will save it. Women are not drawn to men who lose control. They're drawn to men who remain in control, even when everything else around them isn't. Because control is safety. Control is leadership, and control is rare. A man who yells, begs, or tries to manipulate emotion is not in control of himself. He's being led by emotion, not leading it. But a Stoic? He's anchored. He knows that silence is more powerful than shouting. That calm presence speaks louder than panic. That walking away with dignity is more commanding than pleading for validation. In a world where men are trained to chase every impulse and react to every trigger, be the one who stands still. Be the one who governs himself. Because the man who has mastered his inner world can never be conquered by the outer one. Number 2, never chase, only attract. Seneca said, "If a man knows not to which port he sails, no wind is favorable." Think about that. A man without direction is like a leaf in the wind, blown by every passing whim, every fleeting desire, every attractive woman. That kind of man isn't dangerous. He's desperate. And desperation is repulsive. To women, to the world, and most of all, to his own soul. A Stoic man doesn't run after people. He runs toward his purpose. He wakes up every day with a fire in his chest and a vision in his mind. And if someone isn't walking in the same direction, he doesn't beg them to stay. He lets them go. Why? Because his self-worth isn't up for negotiation. Take this in. The man who chases women wastes his time, his energy, and his dignity. You've seen it before. Guys who contort themselves to be what they think a woman wants. They text constantly. try too hard to impress, lose sleep, and worst of all, lose themselves. But the Stoic man, he builds, he sharpens, he grows. He becomes a fortress of discipline, confidence, and calm energy. And that energy is magnetic. When you stand firm in your values and live with purpose, you naturally draw people, including women, into your orbit. They sense your depth. They feel your strength. You don't need to chase when you're the storm they can't ignore. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." And that's the core of this truth. Chasing is noise. Attraction is power. Let your actions be loud. Let your mission speak. And watch how the world, especially women, starts paying attention. You weren't born to beg for affection. You were born to command respect. Never chase, only attract. Because kings don't pursue, they lead. Number 3, walk-away power, the ultimate Stoic strength. There's a kind of quiet power that only the disciplined few will ever know. The ability to walk away, not in rage, not with ego, but with unshakable calm and dignity. When a man has standards, when he knows what he stands for, he doesn't beg for respect, he embodies it. And the moment that respect is broken, he doesn't make a scene, he leaves. Because for the Stoic man, peace is not something to be negotiated. It's protected like sacred ground. Walking away is not weakness. It's proof that your self-worth is not tied to anyone else's behavior. It's self-respect in motion. Imagine being in a relationship, romantic, professional, or even a friendship, where you're constantly made to feel small. Sarcastic jabs, backhanded compliments, manipulative silence. Many men stay hoping things will change, hoping they'll earn love or approval. But a Stoic man knows your value is not determined by someone's inability to see it. You don't argue with disrespect. You don't dance with chaos, you leave. And in doing so, you teach people how to treat you, not by demanding better, but by refusing to accept less. Epictetus warned us, never depend on the admiration of others. There is no strength in it. True power lies in indifference to approval. The moment you need someone's validation, you've handed them control of your life. But when you walk away, not to punish, not to manipulate, but because your soul refuses to be dragged through the mud, you become unshakable. That kind of silence, it's thunder in disguise, and it reminds every man watching that real strength isn't in how loud you fight, but in how calmly you refuse to be disrespected. Would you rather be feared for your fury or respected for your standards? Choose wisely. Number 4, don't explain yourself too much. It's a sign of weakness. In a world obsessed with constant validation, modern men have developed a habit of over-explaining themselves. They justify every action, every delay, every silence, hoping not to be misunderstood or disliked. But here's the brutal truth. Over-explaining isn't about clarity. It's about insecurity. When you feel the need to explain yourself excessively, what you're really saying is, I don't trust that my presence, my intentions, or my decisions are enough. Stoicism teaches us the opposite. Inner assurance over outer approval. Epictetus once said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. That's power. That's masculine energy. A man who can hold silence without guilt is a man who owns himself. Think about it. How many times have you sent a long message trying to explain why you didn't reply right away? I was just busy with work, had a bunch of stuff going on, but I really do care about you. And what happened? You didn't feel stronger after sending it. You felt smaller because you traded your presence for permission. A Stoic man doesn't chase permission. He leads with action. If you were busy, you were busy. If you care, you show it. But you don't need to spell it out every time. It's like Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." Women don't fall for the man who bends over backward trying to prove he's good. They fall for the man who lives it without saying much. Confidence isn't loud, it's still. And in that stillness, a stoic man becomes magnetic. You don't win respect by over-explaining, you win it by being firm, present, and unbothered. So next time you feel that itch to explain yourself, pause, breathe, and remember, a lion doesn't explain why he walks the way he does. He just walks, and the jungle makes way. Number 5. Set boundaries early, or be manipulated forever. A man without boundaries is a man waiting to be broken. Stoicism is a philosophy of clarity of purpose, clarity of values, and most importantly, clarity of self. If you don't make your lines visible, the world will redraw them for you. Women, people, life, they will test you, and if you fold, if you laugh off disrespect, ignore warning signs, or stay silent when something cuts deep, you've just handed over your power. The game of life and love, weakness invites exploitation. Not always with malice, but always with consequence. Think of a guy you know, maybe even yourself, who let things slide for too long. His girl flirted with other men. She rolled her eyes when he spoke. She talked to him like a child, not a man. And he told himself, "It's not a big deal, she's just emotional. I don't want to start a fight." But silence doesn't build peace, it breeds resentment. And by the time he speaks up, it's too late. He's already been trained to accept crumbs and call it affection. That man isn't respected, he's tolerated, and deep down he knows. Seneca warned us, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Wasting your life doesn't just mean procrastinating on goals, it means wasting your spirit in relationships that drain you. When you set a boundary, you're not being difficult. You're declaring self-respect. A high-value man says no without guilt. He doesn't explain his standards, he lives them. And when a woman sees that, she either aligns or she leaves. Either way, you win. Because the man who knows his worth never begs for it. Number 6. Lead with purpose, not emotions. A stoic man knows that love is not a feeling. It's a discipline. He doesn't need to feel butterflies in his stomach to treat his woman with respect, to show up with strength, or to guide the relationship with clarity. Feelings rise and fall like waves, but purpose, real purpose, is anchored deep in the bedrock of character. The man who waits for the right emotion before acting is like a captain waiting for perfect weather before setting sail. He'll never leave the shore. A Stoic leads because it is his duty to lead. Not because he feels like it, not because it benefits him in the moment, but because leadership is a reflection of who he is. Imagine a man on a date who asks, "So, what do you want to do?" Now compare that to a man who says, "I made us a reservation at that spot you mentioned last week. Let's go." One inspires confidence. The other feels uncertain, indecisive, forgettable. Women don't crave control, they crave direction. They want to feel that the man beside them has vision, strength, and resolve. They don't want a follower in disguise. They want a leader who sees clearly and walks forward with confidence, even when the path isn't easy. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." A good man doesn't ask permission to be who he is. He leads with purpose even when emotions pull him in 100 directions. Because in the end, emotions are passengers, not the driver. And if you let your feelings drive your life, or your relationship, you'll crash into mediocrity every time. So stand up, speak clearly, decide boldly. That's not arrogance, That's masculine integrity. And the world and your woman is starving for it. Number 7, detach from outcome. She's not your world, you are. A man enslaved by outcome is no man at all. He's a puppet, yanked by invisible strings of approval, validation, and fear. The Stoics taught us that true freedom begins the moment you stop tying your peace to external events. That includes a woman's affection, her loyalty, her words. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That means you don't chase her mood. You don't beg for her attention. You don't crumble when she pulls away. You remain rooted in your own center. Because when your happiness is no longer a hostage of her behavior, you reclaim the throne of your own kingdom. Think about it. How many men lose themselves chasing a woman's approval? They twist their personality, sacrifice their standards, and turn into something unrecognizable, all to win her back. But brother, if you have to become less of yourself to keep her, you've already lost. You were never the prize, she was. That's the trap. The moment you make her your sun, you orbit around her. But a Stoic man is the sun. He doesn't chase. He radiates, he builds his world. If she wants to be in it, she can enter, but on his terms. Letting go of control doesn't mean giving up. It means rising up. You show up fully, loyal, present, powerful, but detached from whether she stays. Why? Because you already have everything you need. Clarity, values, discipline, purpose. The moment you stop fearing her departure is the moment you become undeniable. You stop being reactive and start being respected. And when a woman senses that calm, grounded energy in you, the kind that doesn't need her but chooses her, she doesn't test you. She follows you. Because you're no longer the boy who clings, you're the man who leads. Conclusion. The Stoics weren't cold. They loved deeply, but from strength, not weakness. If you want to attract the right kind of women into your life, become the right kind of man. Grounded, purposeful, unshakable. If this message resonated with you, share it with a brother who needs to hear it. And comment below. Which Stoic rule hit you the hardest today? Let's grow together.